Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's always an absolute honor and a privilege to have you join us on our Africa Sports Consultancy live feed. I'm your host, Goro Mamio, always here. And again, another night, another time, and we've done our best this time again to bring you the best of the best, to bring you someone who's up there, someone who's doing the business. And we've ventured away from your conventional rugby, soccer, or cricket, and today we're in athletics. Tonight we are hosting Chengetayi Mapaya. Chenge, as is widely known, Chenge is not yet here with us today. He is in the US, so our time zones are quite difficult to make for him to be here with us, but I can assure you that he's definitely on his way. He was busy, but he's definitely on his way. And we thought, well, why not be here live on the show, chat you through, as this for me sadly is my last one for a bit, as we will be having a new host going forward. And that should be rather interesting, a new flavor, a new voice to the show, and someone to bring in some flair. But, for those of you who've tuned in already, you have been loyal. You have been there since day one. You have been supporting Africa Sports Consultancy since we started our lives. And we know that you're our loyal followers. And for that, we are happy. And we're very appreciative of having you in and around. And as we wait for Chenge, we can only say thank you. We can only say shout out to you. You're the real MVPs. We are here doing what we do, and we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you watching us and supporting us all the time. Now, as you've probably guessed, like I said, Chenge is busy. He had a session that he needed to get back from, and if I'm not mistaken, he said it's about 12 o'clock on his side that he would, that would be just now. And he still isn't here, but I can certainly assure you that we're busy here warming up the seat, making sure that when he does pull up, we're ready for him. It's not every day that you get a junior Olympic, not Olympic, a junior African champion on the show, on the live. And Olympian, maybe I'm speaking some things into existence here, but again, we wait, we see what he brings. And look, we've got so much we want to ask him. And if any of you already have some questions that you want to ask him, instead of waiting for right at the end of the show, you could start putting in your questions now. And when that question session comes through, and I know there's going to be lots of people who really want to see Chenge when that section starts, we'll ensure that we get to your questions first. So ladies and gentlemen, please do just bear with us as we wait for Chenge, who will be joining us soon. And tell you what, Chenge is here. Chenge is here, and I'm just looping him in. This is very exciting. It's exciting for me, and the journey that Chenge has walked, I just cannot wait to ask him. I've got tons and tons and tons of questions to ask him. So ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, we have Chenge live with us here on Africa Sports Consultancy. Chenge,
hello,
how are you doing?
Hello. I'm good. How are you doing?
No, I'm very well, thank you. We've got so many people excited to see you, and we've been waiting.
Oh yeah. I mean, I just came from rehab just now. I just got back home in a few seconds. Sorry for being late, but yeah, I was just handling some business a little bit now.
Well, look, you take your time. You're the star of the show, and the viewers are very patient and diligent, and I've sent out your apologies to them already. And look, you say you're busy with rehab. What have you done to yourself?
I got injured at nationals, but this is week 2 I tore my hamstring about 2 weeks ago. So we're already working on getting the legs back stronger for next season. So I'm doing excessive rehab day in, day out so that I can get back to good shape and start training and prepare for next year.
Oh, wow. Preparing for next year already. I'm very sorry to hear about your injury and hamstring tear. That can't be easy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not easy, but I'm recovery is going pretty fast, honestly. I'm in better shape than I was 2 weeks ago. So that's always a positive.
Fantastic news. Chenge, thanks so much for joining us. And I've given you the grand introduction. I called you an Olympic star just now, and I had to pull myself back and say junior African champion. And look, maybe I'm speaking something into existence.
Now you're speaking into existence. It's gonna come soon, definitely, definitely. That's gonna happen.
I love that. Chenge, look, it's 30 minutes. It sounds like it's very long. It's not so long. It is really, it goes so quickly. And again, thank you so much for making this time. Now, Chenge, we're speaking to you from your base in the US. So where are you currently?
I'm at Texas Christian University. I'm based in Fort Worth, Texas. So that's where this is now my 4th year in university. So I'm still a student athlete. I haven't gone professional. So I'm still with the NCAA. So this coming year will be my last year actually in the NCAA. Then I can go professional after that.
Wow. And just for some closure for myself and for the viewers, what time is it over there?
Right now it's 1:17. It's 1:17 p.m. It's in the afternoon, straight afternoon right now. It's completely different ones. I know that time is probably it's this 18 or something.
Yeah, I got it wrong earlier. I said it was 12 o'clock. But look, let's dive into it. You say this is your last year at nationals, being a student athlete, and at your college that you're busy with at the moment. And look, it's been a journey. You say last year, but just now we had you jumping for the sky at St. George's College. Now,
Yeah.
how have you found yourself in Texas?
I mean, it just happened that our coach came to Zimbabwe just on a recruiting visit, just like trying to see talent in Zimbabwe. Unfortunately, I actually didn't go for the camp he hosted, but he then heard about me and he reached out to me, and I couldn't deny that opportunity to come to America. And so I just won. I think I'd won. This was when I was in Form 4 when I was 16. So I just won. Lower 6. So I was now jumping about 60 meters. I jumped at the Southern Regions. So that's when he got interested in me, and I just decided to commit to come to TCU to consider to just improve my skill, because in Zimbabwe I didn't have enough resources to get to the next level. So I had to get out of Zimbabwe and improve on my talent.
Wow, what a story. This is the sort of story we love. And for someone who got an opportunity, and like you said, you were not even at the trial initially, but they heard about you. They heard about Chenge, and look at just how far you've come. And you alluded to something towards the end there where you said that in Zimbabwe, there wasn't enough resources to get you to that next level where you want to get to. Do you want to just delve a bit deeper into that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like usually, like, I mean, I feel like not only Zimbabwe, but just Africa in general, there's this restriction of just our parents want us to do academics. And that my dad is actually a teacher, so it was always academics and academics, and I was very different. I didn't like school as much, but I had to do school because it's one of those things you need anyways in life. You need to have school, but like in terms of just like facilities, I didn't have enough facilities that would like get me to what I needed to get to. And the only way that I could do is to get out of Zimbabwe and find a better, like a place where I can have more facilities and just better training equipment for everything that I do. And for my event specifically, I needed like a coach who was very versed, and there are not really a lot of coaches in Zimbabwe or who would dedicate their time to me only. So I had to find that also to so that I could become better. So just the facilities, it's not the same here in America and Zimbabwe. So I just need that next level of training to get where I had to get to.
Look, 100%, and shout out to you, for representing the country all the way in Texas. And there's so much you say, and the more you speak, the more I'm just so intrigued. You spoke about an element of how your parents are very academically driven and were pushing you in that
Yeah,
direction. Where, again, that's a conversation we've had before on the show, and that's where someone like us comes into it as Africa Sports Consultancy to say, look, there's more to just academics. Your sport can feed into your academics, and your sport can
yeah,
actually, also your academics can also
it
feed
can
into your
help you.
sport. Yeah, both ways. And
Exactly.
how
Yeah,
have
they
you
correlate.
found that balance? How have you found that balance?
I mean, honestly, it wasn't really hard for me to find that balance just because when I was at home, I just used to have so much pressure with my parents, making sure I do my homework, I study. And they like at some point in time, I was now more into sports because I used to play rugby, I used to do cross country. I played basically every sport when I was at St. George's. So my parents told me to stop playing all sports because my academics were just going down the drain. So I decided to just focus on. They told me to focus on one sport, and track. I don't know how, but track was just one thing that I was good at. And in my school, if you did athletics, you had some swag, and I wanted that swag. So I was like, I'm gonna do athletics. So just the fact that my parents always pushed me with my schoolwork, then I was doing my sport at school. I found the balance pretty easy. So I always know when it's time to do my schoolwork, I do my schoolwork. When it's time to do athletics, I do athletics. So I just found the balance in between to balance both of them. Because you need, like right now, I'm a student athlete. I still have to get my degree. I still have to do well in school. For me to stay eligible, I need to have a certain grade point average. I need a certain GPA. So basically, I have to make sure I get my school right. So that's usually my motivation. If I don't get my school right, I'll not be able to compete because there's a standard that I have to reach. I need to get at least B's and C's. So I always make sure I pass just because I love athletics. So I'm not gonna fumble the ball by not doing my academics. So that's something just because the love I have for athletics has made me make sure I handle my business in the schoolwork so that I can compete.
Look at you, have it all planned out, have it all sorted out. I love it, absolutely love it. Such a role model and such an inspiration. And tell you what, shout out to your parents for pushing you academically, because again, like you
Yeah,
said,
it was a nice.
look, not
It
the
wasn't nice,
nicest,
but yeah, it has helped. It has helped a lot.
not the nicest, but you've balanced it out quite well, where you've said the
Yeah,
academics and the sports go together, and for you to be able to be running, well, to be on track, you need your grades to be at a certain level. So you see, that's
yeah,
fantastic, because if you look at the number of professional athletes who end up not being able to thrive or play in their sport, and then they have nothing to fall back on, you have the best of both worlds currently, which is
yeah.
absolutely fantastic. And like you said, when you're going through it, you were like, mom, dad. But
That
look at
was
you
not
now.
it. Yeah, I used to sleep whilst reading, studying. I would just sleep. I'm like, I'm tired. I practiced too hard, man. I don't do this no more. But yeah, we found the balance though. It was good that they pushed me. Now it's now easy. It's pretty easy for me to do it.
Now, we've spoken about that side of things, but to be the junior African champion in triple jump. Now that's quite a title to hold, and that would have been in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. How was that
Yeah,
experience
that's
for
right.
you?
I mean, that was, if I can say, that was probably my first time at like a pretty prestigious meet. So the previous years, I'd qualified for World Youth, but I didn't go because of just like some irresponsibility that were happening in the association. So just me being at Africa champs was big, competing some of the best athletes in Africa. So I knew whatever was gonna happen, I'll jump good because the more competition I have, I know I'm gonna do good. So I just went in there. I just want to have fun, and just the crowd was good. Like it was intense. When I saw that the jumpers getting all these claps, I was like, wow, this is amazing. So I just fed off that energy, and it was just everything was history. Just I don't even know how I jumped that far, but it happened by itself. I was in the moment. You know what I mean? It was just fun being there and enjoying what I do the best. So it was really good. I was privileged to be in that position.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. And good things don't just happen by accident, and for those who are watching, we do sit back and we have to go do a little bit of reading about our athletes and do a bit of research. But something that stands out for me about Chenge is Chenge, you didn't go to TCU because of any other reason, but the mere fact that they backed you when you were still jumping, I think it was 16.8 at the time.
It was 15.6.
15.6. Yeah, they backed you when you're jumping 15.6. And suddenly when you're jumping further, everyone's getting your attention, but you stuck with them. That is a quite impressive virtue that you have there.
Yeah, I mean, it came down to just the fact when I was jumping 15.60, some schools were like, we'll give you partial scholarship. But like TCU was like, we'll give you a full scholarship and we'll develop you to be a better athlete. Then when I started jumping 16.30, like everyone wanted to have me. For some reason, I just thought that the fact that TCU wanted me, they wanted to progress me as an athlete. They just didn't want the talent that I have, or I just felt like they wanted to make me better than what I already am. So I was like, I'm gonna stick to that. I need a place where they see that I've got potential, not what I have, but they see something beyond what I have. So I had to stick with that. And also just the fact that it was a Christian school, my parents were like, that's Texas Christian University. There's Christian there. You gotta go there. So it was also my parents played a role in that. They're like, nah, it's a Christian school, so you have to go there. So that's basically what happened.
Now, look, big shout out to them, and hats off to you. It's in the world today, loyalty and that trait you've just shown now is not something that you run into all of the time. So it's big respect, and there's obviously greater things to come your way if you're holding on to values such as those. Now,
Yes,
we've spoken about all the bright lights, we've spoken about all the highlights of your career so far, and like you've promised us on the show, you said that you're going to get to the Olympics, so we're waiting for that.
I mean, this year has been cancelled though, because I was gonna go, but like I can't go because of the injury that I have. So I made the Olympics, but with my coaches and doctors, the wisest thing for me to do was to not go for Olympics and prepare for world champs that are next year. So instead of risking myself getting more injured at Olympics or going in that competition, that I'm just coming from a huge, not gonna be good and physically. I'm not. Olympics this year is done. So, but that's not the end of the road. I'm still pretty young. There's two more Olympics, 2024 in France. So we're gearing up for that and the world champs that are next year. So those are now the goals that we have set. So now we're just supporting the people who are gonna go to the Olympics for Zimbabwe and all of my friends who are going for Olympics. So just keeping ourselves up there.
Wow. Well, look, if you've just tuned in, folks, we're talking to Chengetayi Mapaya, and Chengetayi, as you've just heard him explain, we would have seen him at the Olympics, but due to a hamstring injury that he sustained, he is now preparing for the World Champs to come next year. And tell you what, we'll all be shouting for you come next year.
Yes,
So
sir.
you've got lots of people behind you, and I'm sure the whole of Zimbabwe will be pushing for you and wanting to see you do well. You spoke you spoke to how you've already started setting your goals for next year. You know, we're very excited for you and look forward to walking along quite closely to you, as you know, what we also do provide is a service where we help athletes set their goals. So it'll be quite interesting to have you go through some of our goal setting tools and interesting to hear what your feedback is. But before we jump onto that, I'm quite cognizant of the time here. We've spoken about your highlights. We've spoken about when things were going so well. You know, what were some of your challenges throughout your career so far?
I mean, just coming out of Zimbabwe, I was the best. I always used to come first, you know. I was not really versed with like competition. So when I came to America, my whole year, my first year, 2018, I didn't come first. I didn't come first. And as someone who always wants to win, that was a huge toll on me. So usually in America, university starts in August. So you know how in Zimbabwe we finish exams November, December. So I couldn't come in August. So and they wanted me early. So I came in January. So I didn't have a foundation training from August to January. And season starts December to June. So I got there I was using my raw talent. Nothing, they didn't change much because I didn't have the base. So just no winning was one thing that I was angry and like, but I always wanted to win. So when the season ended, literally it didn't take me. We ended I went for NCAA nationals and I came fifth. And NCAA nationals indoors, I came third. And I was still mad. And my coach was like, bro, you know, this is top 5 in the nation in America. And this is you came top 3 in the nation and you're a freshman. This is your first year in America. You shouldn't be mad at yourself. Me in my head, I'm like, nah, bro, I wanted to win. I don't know what you're talking about, but I wanted to win. So we didn't really rest after after Indo Nationals. So just me not resting and just trying to push myself to get to the level I wanted to. It was hard, you know. The training I had to do was the days where I'm like, do I really want to do track? Because the days where you're just so dead and you're just like, nah, this is not for me. So those days were my hardest, definitely. But I just persevered through, and that's the following year I won nationals outdoors. So just that. So since that moment, it was just one of like I never really have any downfalls, just because I know if I put in the work, it'll work out. Another downfall that I've had was I had an injury with my shins in 2020. Uh, it was just bad. Like I got to a point where I feel like it was now more mental than anything. So I just was going through a lot, but thank God COVID came. For me, COVID was a blessing in disguise. Because if that year continued, I don't think I would have done well, to be honest. Because I was just not in a place where I was in love with track. I had lost the values I had of having fun. I made it more like a job. Like I gotta be good. I forgot the fun part of it, which is something that I had to go for. Like I went for like 2 counseling sessions, and after that I was like, I'm done. I'm no more doing counseling. I'm done. I figured it out. So yeah, because it was just a point in time where my mentor was just not in the place where it had to be a champion. So I went for like the first one, and I was like, man, I'm too strong. I can't be doing this stuff. I gotta figure this out by myself. So since then, I haven't had any downfall really. Even when I got injured at nationals, I mean, it was a bad injury and everything, and I was hurt, but it didn't take me time. I knew after, like when it happened, I cried. Like I cried. I was boiling out crying, but I knew I wasn't gonna go for Olympics. I knew the injury was bad, but like when I went back and I got my ultrasound, that was probably like 10 minutes after. I was like, this is it. Like I gotta accept it and move on. This is not the end of the road. So like everything I do, I always have some positive mindset and I'm optimistic, even in my downfalls. So it's not like, so I can't really say I'm downfalls because every downfall, I'll put it in a way that I'm gonna be like, it's gonna make me stronger. So I'm just really positive. Like people reach out to me like, how are you doing? How are you coping with my injury? I'm like, I'm good, man. Like I'm enjoying life. I'm preparing for next year. I'm not really mad that I'm not going for Olympics. So it's just like I don't associate myself with having downfalls anymore. It's just I take those as lessons and progress. Because if you don't, if it's not in your head, if you make it a downfall, you know what I mean? It's gonna be a downfall, you know. But if you say it's not a downfall, it's just a it's already written. That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna get injured, or this was gonna happen. It's all part of the plan. Just have to believe in yourself and move on. So that's how I take your question about any downfalls. I really don't have a lot. They're all lessons instead of downfalls.
I just have to double check your age because those are very wise words. Very, very wise, very, very mature, and the mindset of a champion, like absolute champion's mindset that you've just displayed, and just how you've just spoken to it, and how, you know, even with the losses, you've turned those losses into lessons, and not looking at it as a downfall,
Yeah.
but more a positive, which is, it's absolutely brilliant. Look, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for tuning in. We've reached that point. Please, you can put questions in the chat. We will pass them on to Chenge. We've got about 7 minutes to go. So hopefully Chenge can answer those questions for us. Now, Chenge, while those questions are being typed out, you know, as a young African athlete who's had challenges and who now finds himself in the US thriving, what message, you know, I always try and ask this question to whoever comes through it. The question is, what message would you have for young boys and girls with dreams and aspirations, but they may sometimes feel like they can't make it? What advice would you have for them?
I mean, I've literally gone through the same stage where I feel like I'm not gonna make it. But I always like what I said about being positive, just knowing that there's light at the end of the tunnel. And if there's no light at the end of the tunnel, make your own light in the spot you're at, you know. So instead of you gotta make your own light at some point. So just staying dedicated. If you found something that you love doing, don't give up on it. Keep pushing. Because no road is gonna be easy in anything that you do. You just gotta persevere through it and keep hoping for the best. And I'm a Catholic. I always have my rosary on. Whenever I feel like something is going wrong, I always humble myself down and pray to God. I talk to God a lot just about what I'm going through. So when things are going hard, when I feel like this is beyond me, I'm not saying I only pray when things are hard, but like having God on your side and just staying optimistic in everything you do is one thing that will keep you uh good and grounded, and you know, just not giving up on what you love will take you far.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And you know, there's something you said there that just stuck with me. And it said, if there's no light at the end of the tunnel, make your own light. Absolute
Yeah,
gem.
yeah.
You know, that's something I'm gonna write that down and stick it up somewhere. It's an absolute gem. Thank you for that. Look, I can
Yes,
see the
sir.
grace upon your life. I can see the blessings upon your life and the goodness of God in your life. And you know, keep at it, keep pushing, keep going. Now, I'm looking at the questions. You keep seeing my eyes flick across. I'm looking at the questions. There's a question from Anes Ndoro here who says, talk us through your daily nutrition and diet, please. Do you have a certain routine that you follow? He must have seen your big
Uh,
muscles. That's why he's asking.
yeah, I'm covering all of them. I have no big muscles. Yeah, yeah, but like I'll just get it briefly. My standard routine, I'll just go. I'm gonna give a routine when I'm in season. I wake up early in the morning and I go to the beach sand. I walk in the sand. So I wake up and I eat a fruit and just a snack or a granola bar or something. Then I start drinking water. I would have started drinking water the night before. So I do that. I go for treatment in the morning. Then after beach volleyball, I mean, then I go see my strength coach. My strength coach, that's at 7 in the morning. I'm with my strength coach, and we work on if we're doing hips or abs, whatever, work on that. Then from like 8, I see my doctor. So he treats me, make sure my body is good. Then 9, I've got class from 9 to like 12 or 1:30, depending on the day. I've got class. Then soon after that, I go see my strength coach again. I stretch out. 2 o'clock, I'm at the track. So by like 1, I'm with my strength coach. I'm stretching. I'm getting my body ready for practice. 2, I'm at practice with my coach. After practice, I go see my strength coach. I lift. That's at like 4, 5, depending on the day. After that, I see my doctor to prepare for the next day and to repeat. So the whole day is just packed full of, it's either I'm doing academics or I'm doing something that's gonna make me better. I'm doing some stretches. I'm getting my body to be ready for the next day. I'm seeing my doctor, strength coach. So I'm always involved in some sort of thing that's gonna make me better for the next day.
Wow, a serious athlete, top athlete. That's what we're talking about right here. Look, there was another comment. It's not a question that's in the chat. It's a comment, and it's something that exposes my age a little bit, but I didn't quite understand how to use it. But it says, yeah, it's from Guidance Tungamirai Gunundu. He says, no question.
That's my boy.
He says, no question, but I know this guy is going to set world records, no cap.
You see, stuff like that, literally, people would do that. Those are some of the things that I use on my off days when I don't want to train. There are people who believe in me, who see the future. Those things motivate me. Just seeing that people have got hope in me, believe in what I'm doing. I can't let those people down. So those are the things that drive me day in, day out. Just hearing those comments like that. I've received so many messages of stuff like that, and that's the energy I'm always looking for. I'm not looking for people who are trying to say, you're not gonna make it, you're done, or just that message right there is that's already give me some more energy to grind harder.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. When I read it initially, I thought I was meant to take my cap off, but then I remembered I've heard it somewhere before. No cap.
That's funny. No cap.
Yeah.
Come on, no cap.
Look, I have to say thank you. A big shout out to my niece. She's the one who, got this conversation going. She's probably laughing when she hears me saying that I don't know what no cap is. So Denise, shout out to you. Thank you for getting this conversation. And look, you're famous, man. Kids in Zim looking up to you. And she said, look, you've got to get this guy on here. And here we are today.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity to probably inspire someone out there and just having this conversation. I appreciate it. I'm not the easiest person to find, but we'll be there here and there.
No, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. All I want to say is when you're at the Olympics, then we will definitely have this conversation again. No cap.
No cap. We're having it. No cap. It's gonna happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, fantastic. We had Chengetayi Mapaya here on the show, and he's been absolutely amazing, absolutely brilliant. No cap.
My name is Chengetayi Mapaya, but that's my illegal, my not illegal, my legal name. But I'm also on my Instagram is Do Airlines. I associate myself with a plane because I do fly when I jump. So I mean, no one really calls me by my name. Like it's always Do Airlines or just do things. That's literally my name. My parents call me Do sometimes. It has become one of those things. Like it's my name, but like even commentators have now gone to a point they now say Do Airlines. So I'm gonna say Chengetayi is my name, but call me Do Airlines. That's the wave. That's the wave right there. Do airlines.
Okay. Do airlines tempting. Thank you very much
Yes,
for being
sir.
here.
Yes, sir.
And definitely shout out to you when you're at the World Champs. And again, at the Olympics, when you're there, you owe us an interview. The people want to hear back from you. And all the best going
Definitely.
forward. And we'll catch up with you very soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. You have
Cheers, Chenge. Thank you. No cap. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Absolutely brilliant. We had Chenge here on the show and amazing. He's taught me something. No cap doesn't mean you must take your cap off. It just means I don't know what it means, but it sounds cool. No cap. And yeah, again, fantastic. When you do have a minute, go check out our website, africasportsconsultancy.com. Lots of cool tools there that you can use. And Chenge spoke to some of them. Your goal setting, your mindset development. Those are things that are very important for any athlete or aspiring athlete. And we do provide those services online. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if wherever you are, let's just remember COVID is a reality, and we've seen the third wave, especially here in Africa, come back. And keep your masks on, keep sanitizing, keep looking after your loved ones. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, so make sure you make the most of today. Ladies and gentlemen, same place again, same time, but different host next week. But do make sure you catch the show. I will be watching with you. From my side, God Mio, it's good night and take care of yourselves.